All right, Randy, I've got us here at the bottom of the hour. I think we're ready to get started. I'll hand it off to you.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Thomas. Appreciate it. We'll get ourselves going here. Good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you're joining us from. This is Randy Mislovic, the Managing Director of the Resource Management Institute, and I'd like to welcome you to the third quarter 2022 Power Up. And our topic today, next generation capabilities and resource management technology. I'll introduce our guest speaker here in just a couple of minutes, but this is a super hot topic, and hopefully, just based on how many people signed up, we see a lot of people have great interest in this. So I want to give a special shout out and thanks to our three sponsors, Cantata, Projector, and Saviam. I really appreciate their dedication and interest in the resource management capabilities that they're bringing to you, and the work that we're doing here at the Resource Management Institute. We appreciate their support very much. All right, well, let me go ahead and start us into our presentation here. For those of you joining us for the first time, I'll just do a quick overview of the Resource Management Institute, which you can find at resourcemanagementinstitute.com. is dedicated to the advancement of resource and workforce management thought leadership and all the things related to it, best practices, standards, certification credentials, and other things. And we do this through these four things, best practice development and definition in the area of resource and workforce management, market research and white papers. We've got a terrific library of both, I think there's 21 published research reports out there, and a library of white papers, all free for joining, being a member. Training and education, which I'll talk about near the end of our broadcast, but we've got a world-class certification program in resource management. And lastly, industry collaboration at various events like the RMI Connect, our virtual event coming up in October, and our in-person event, Resource Management Global Symposium coming up in April in Dallas. We'll be talking more about that here come October. So, okay. With that, then, I want to jump right into the topic. We've got a really meaty topic for us today. Again, next generation capabilities in resource management technology. And I'd like to introduce Wade Little, who is a partner and practice leader at RTM Consulting. Wade spends his every waking moment working with customers on how to find, pick, implement the very best resource automation technologies that are available. And he's a great choice for us to talk about next generation capabilities. So with that, Wade, welcome. It's nice to have you, and I'll turn the floor over to you.
Wow. Okay. Thanks, Randy. What an introduction. Hi everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, as Randy said, depending on where you are. I'm really excited about today's topic. Last year at this time, I shared what I thought were some of the capabilities that were core to RM technology or table stakes. But with technologies such as artificial intelligence and machine learning, what we've seen are some significant advances in what's available to support resource management. Many or most of the vendors out there have recognized the importance of resource management and have made the investment in their software in this area. So today we're going to discuss some of these more advanced features. And while there are lots of these types of features, the one that we're going to discuss today are the ones I think are the most useful and the ones that are being used by many of our clients. Like last year, we'll start with the, Randy, if you could, yep, there you go. We'll start with the jitter wheel, just to remind everyone that we're focusing our discussion today on the technology portion of jitter. However, we'll see that this technology enables many of the other elements. Specifically, today's topics will include technologies to support skills inventory, the staffing process, as well as sourcing. Okay, so on to the next slide. Next slide, Randy. There we go. Perfect. Thank you. So the first capability that I want to talk about is around skills inventory or skills management. Hopefully most people will agree that using skills is essential to the resource management process. Many people are using these skills to locate the right person for their project. But the challenge that I've seen in many cases is keeping these skills up to date. And without proper governance, it can be easy to have this information go stale. And to combat this, often there are annual surveys that may go out to all the resources to try to get this information, up to date. Some clients have a process where each consultant is expected to update their skills after each project. In almost all instances, it takes quite a bit of effort and coordination. And there's definitely been more of an onus on busy consultants to keep this information up to date. So some of the more advanced capabilities in this area are using machine language to help make this process a bit easier. The first capability here is being able to parse through a resume to initially populate a person's skills profile. So, if you're hiring someone or bringing someone onto your team, you can just simply use their resume and have the system automatically sift through and update their skills and their skills profile rather than them having to do this as part of the onboarding process. So this is a really nice way to kind of prime the pump and create an initial skills profile. The next capability in this area is suggesting skills based on previous experience. So, let's say that you work on a web development project for Walmart, as an example. In this case, you might have skills in Java or HTML, and you might have retail experience, and even more specifically, you have experience working for Walmart, and that might be important for future staffing needs. So rather than you having to take the effort to update this, you get a nudge or a notification with these suggestions. And in this case, you just say yes, and then these skills will automatically get added to your profile. Some solutions will even offer suggestions for certain related technology. So for example, if you have Microsoft Excel skills, you may also have Google Sheets experience, and so you may get this prompt as well. And then a complementary piece to this is skills verification or endorsements. You may have seen this with LinkedIn as an example, where you get a notification. So does Thomas have marketing skills? So not only do you get to update your skills, but your colleagues and managers can help in this process too. And this makes the entire skills inventory a much more rich and validated and useful set of information. On to the next slide. Great, perfect, thanks. So the next capabilities we'll talk about here are directly related to the staffing process and finding the best resource for your project. So now that we have skills in place that we talked about on the previous slide, how do we know who the best person is based on those skills, of course, but also based on other factors such as role, location, what level they are in the organization, their cost, etc. And what's now available in many resource management software applications are scoring algorithms. So the software will rate or score each person based on their fit against the criteria that you define. So some software will even let you weight the criteria. So for example, role might be more important, and so you'll weight that more heavily, and then availability, and then maybe skill, and then maybe location. So again, you can weight each of those variables differently to help you choose the right person. In addition to scoring the resources, some software will also let you compare the resources side by side. You've probably seen something similar on some retailers' websites. My wife, for example, recently looking at purchasing a new car. And on the website, you can compare Model A to Model B and see what the differences are, which features are or aren't included in each model. And this is very similar. So say you like two resources that both score 100. You can choose these candidates and compare them side by side. So you can see which criteria they meet. Maybe you requested they have a rating of 3 on HTML, and one person has a 3 and the other person has a 4. Or similarly, one person has a 3 in Spanish and the other person has a 5 in Spanish. And so the idea here is that in this view, you can scroll through all the relevant metadata about each candidate side by side and then choose the best fit. Also in the staffing process, some software will even let you show revenue, cost, or margin impacts. So you can see if someone would be more or less profitable for this assignment. And all of this is meant to provide the most relevant information for you to make a decision on who to staff for this assignment. And then finally, if you're really bold, and in some cases this may make more sense than others, but there's the capability where the software will automatically do the staffing for you. So as long as the person meets certain criteria, boom, the software will automatically staff the resource that is best fit. Okay, Randy, next slide. Okay, so we've talked a lot about finding the right person for your project, but one of the things that has come on the scene more recently is what I call reverse staffing, or rather than finding the right resource for your project, it's finding the right project for your resource. So more of an inside out rather than outside in. And so, what a great concept, right? I can now look at a bench report, see the people with the most availability, and then search for projects for them to work on. It's a great way to help drive up utilization and to ensure my consultants are keeping busy. So along these lines, there's also the ability for resources to search for projects themselves. So if they find something that they like, they can express interest in that assignment, which then might provide notification to the resource managers that this is something that they'd be interested in. So maybe they don't score that perfect 100, but they're pretty close. And while it might be a stretch assignment, it's something the resource is interested in, and the team can make it work. And this could even potentially become part of the resources training plan. And then one step further is the notion of a job marketplace where jobs get posted and resources can find a job and assign themselves. And I really like this, and it's a cool feature. Certainly one that needs some governance. Clearly, you're not going to post every assignment here and let resources staff themselves to anything they want. So some control or governance is needed here. But certainly, these last two features are a great way to keep resources engaged and having them have a say in the process. Okay, all right. So next slide here. So we've talked a lot about skills, and we've talked about finding resources for projects or finding projects for resources. But what if I can't find a resource for my project? And sometimes this happens, and sometimes I don't even have a contractor that can meet the need. And so in that case, I need to go out and find this person on the external market, or hire for this person. And in the past, this was at best a phone call. Hey, HR recruiter, we have a need for a person who speaks Spanish and is really good at HTML. And what we're seeing today, however, is a more integrated process. So if I have a resource request that can't be fulfilled internally, I can flag this need And with the right approvals, it can automatically create a job requisition. And if there are changes or updates in one place, those updates are made in the other place as well. And in some of the more, we'll call big box, solutions that have a single ERP, PSA, and HCM, this integration is, can be fairly seamless. But even in solutions that don't have, for example, an HCM, there is more and more kind of out of the box integration being developed to support these, this use case. And I will say this in particular is, maybe one of the more recent features, and the specific capabilities around it continue to evolve and grow. But certainly some of the base capability is there today, and then this will only get better with time. So that's it for some of the more advanced features that I find pretty interesting, and again that many of our clients are using. And not only do these features make it easier to find the best resources internally or externally, but also help to improve utilization by finding jobs for people or helping employee engagement by letting them express interest and be kind of part of the process. All right, Randy. So that's it. That's it for me. Back over to you.
Okay, perfect. Wade, thank you very much. So for the audience, Wade's going to stick around, and we're going to take some questions here after I just make a few short announcements here. So we've got quite a few questions for you to answer, Wade. So we'll pick those back up here in just a moment. So I thought I'd give you a quick update on a few things. And by the way, regarding automation tools, the RMI just published our fourth run of the Resource Management Automation Tools Benchmarking and Research Report. So if you're interested, that data, again, is out there in the thought leadership section of our website. And again, if you're a member, it's free to download, and being a member is free as well. Anyway, so I want to I'll take a quick moment. If you're not aware already, October 4th and October 6th are two mini events that run about 3 hours each day. We'll be running our next virtual online RMI Connect, and this event's really cool. We last year, using Zoom technology, were able to create an environment very similar to us being close up and impersonal, using various Zoom rooms and things for this. And we're really trying to create the ability for you to be able to connect with other people. In a lot of these sessions, we got them opened up for open conversation and discussion. So this is really a great event. It's focused around resource management maturity. We use the RMI maturity model, which is, again, free from our website, as a basis for framing our discussions. But I've got a great topic. Go out to the website. You can see what the event looks like. It's $249 to attend. There are team discounts available. And RMCPs, by the way, get 5 PCUs for attending Connect. For those of you not familiar with our certification program, the RMCP program is a unique, first of its kind, certified professional skills development program for resource managers, where you can learn best practices. You get access to the RMCP Resource Center and an opportunity to collaborate with your industry peers. And when you go to this course, whether you take it online or in person or on demand, you get a copy of a robust commercial-grade resource management process, which Wade highlighted earlier on, which is just-in-time resourcing, our solution for resource management. The course itself, by the way, is if it's in person, it's 3 days. If it's virtual with a live instructor, it's 2 hours a week for 6 weeks. And there's an on-demand version that you can take 24/7. At the conclusion of your taking the course, you can then take your certification exam. And those are the prices for in-person, online, and on-demand down below. And when we teach this, we teach the just-in-time resourcing solution for resource management. You'll learn all about these 6 elements of resource management and make you a better resource manager. And by the way, a way to help companies with standardization of a particular approach to resource management. We do provide digital badges to all of our graduates as well. You can go online and find our schedule for in-person, online, RMCP on demand is always available, 7/24. And then we have our next level resource management courses, which are also out there. And I thought I'd show you this slide real quick to kind of frame up our training. Is you have really just these two layers, and you can start with, for somebody just wanting to get exposed to resource management, we have an intro course. It's available online, on demand, only on demand, but a great course. I think it's 3 to 4 hours runtime for that to give anyone a good understanding of the 6 elements of just-in-time resourcing and some certainly good context for resource management certification program, which I've already shared with you. And then if you are certified and you're looking for next level resource management development, we have 2 courses targeted at both the RMO leader and the strategic resource manager, and to provide advanced education for resource managers. So I encourage you to look into that. Both those courses are relatively new. And most recently, we introduced soft skills for the resource managers. Certainly the constituencies our resource managers communicate with, it's important that they have great soft skills. And this is a terrific course, is again available on demand. And we also have good team discounts. So if you have a group of people who want to go through, you can get it less expensively by going through and requesting a team discount. And those, again, you can do all that through our website, including making payments with the major credit card. All right, so that's the course. Now, before I give the Q&A, I just want to do a shout out again to Cantata. Formerly the 2 companies, Maven Link and Kimmel, came together under the Cantata brand. Projector and Savium. I thank all 3 of these firms again for their sponsorship of this event, their support of the Resource Management Institute, and of course their interest in providing better resource management automation technology to you, our members. So with that, I'm going to move to the Q&A, Wade, and I've got a number of questions I see in the panel here. I'm just going to pick them off one at a time here and see how we do there. So, all right, first one for you, Wade, is I really like the auto staff feature, but that makes me nervous. What are some examples of when that feature would be used?
Yeah, thanks, Randy. Great question. And in fact, my initial reaction when I heard about this feature was, wow, great, but obviously there could be some concern with auto staffing for some projects, especially those projects that are perhaps more strategic and where there is some more thought and reason and maybe even discussion warranted. But where this could come in handy is when really you just need a person who kind of loosely has the right skills or roles and is available to meet the need, right? So a couple examples might be, I need a trainer for a 2-day class, right? And I just need someone who is available. Another example might be, I need an installer to install this software or hardware for 8 hours. And as long as they're available and have installation skills for the specific software, then schedule away. And in these situations, there could be high volume of activity where as an RM, the auto staff feature could really come in handy and help save you some time. There may be some other examples there, but those are some of the ones that come to mind. So again, not something used in every situation, but certainly could be useful in some use cases.
Okay, great. There's another question in here. It says, is there a more in-depth list of what next level covers? And so the person who submitted that, I'm not sure what that means. Maybe there's a typo or something. If you could maybe put a clarification in the Q&A panel, we'll come back to that. Unless that makes any sense to you.
I'm not sure what that means.
Yeah, okay. I didn't understand it either. Okay. So what is the name of the white paper that covers the different PSA technologies available? So for that person who submitted it, I was referring to a resource management automation report that does research on PSA and PPM tools in general. And there are 4 different ones, and they're out on our website. And again, you could go download them, but they'll all say resource management automation tool research or something close to that. So that's what that one is. Okay, Wade, so here's another one for you. Can you elaborate a little bit more on the job marketplace concept? This seems a bit like anarchy.
Yeah, we definitely want to avoid anarchy, and I think this could be a great feature for something like a job jar. So if you're familiar with that concept, but these might be internal non-billable projects. So maybe as a practice leader, you need someone to do a research project for you. And so it's you just so you put that out there, and someone could say, hey, I can do this, I've got some availability, and it makes them more productive, right, and supports their productive utilization. There could also be some scenarios for billable projects as well. For example, you need someone to write a report, and so this may be more of a task than a full-on assignment. And again, some as I mentioned in the presentation, some governance and thought needs to go into how best to use this. But certainly, I could see some examples where this could be, a really cool feature.
Okay, very cool. All right. So one thing I'd like to add to that, Wade, just a little bit is the RMI has been doing a lot of research in this area of employee engagement. You well know, because of the industry's got much higher attrition rates right now, great resignation, tight job market. So we've been focused on this for a couple of years, and we've got a nice white paper series out in the white paper library on employee engagement. But just one of the things that companies got to get better at is how do you get the employee more engaged and allowing them to become more involved in the process of the projects that they work on, the things that help them develop their skills and their careers in a manner that is more comfortable for them, and allow companies to do that at scale. And you really can't do employee engagement at scale without the use of some kind of a process, which includes, not only capture with the employee what keeps them engaged and keeps them interested, but also having a place to house that information, typically somewhere like in your skills database, and then having a way to, as you're assigning people or allocating people to work, that we don't just do it for the economic needs of the project, but we also have that additional filter of, okay, so what would Randy want to do for his next project, and is there a possibility we can accommodate that in this next project? And so the exciting area, there'll be a lot of work coming this way to make these capabilities better. Wade, here's a good. I know you've handled this before, Wade, and I know you'll have a good way to answer this. So this question is: what do you recommend when the wrong PSA tool has been selected and has become an administrative nightmare?
Well, I think it's a great question. I think the first thing is, and we can help here, where we assess how you're using your PSA tool or software in general optimally. And I will say, in some cases, it's true that it's just maybe the tool isn't a good fit for you, but a lot of times it's also processes, right, and not necessarily the tool. But I think the best place to start is to ask for help, and like I said, it's definitely something that we can help with.
Okay, wonderful. And the last one I'll cover is just an old friend of mine sent in a note. He was commenting about the self-assignment stuff, and I'll read his comment. So you can find this self-assignment need in senior level engineering companies where they search and self-assign. So it's something I've seen as well. So in different industries have done this for a while and/or making progress toward being able to create that kind of capability. So with that, Thomas, I'm going to turn it back over to you and let you close us out.
Yeah, very good. Thank you, Randy. Hey, thanks, Wade. Appreciate your insights on today's Power Up. We had a few questions come in. If we didn't get to them, we will answer them with you after the webcast. I want to thank you all for joining us. As Randy mentioned, the next time we'll get together virtually here will be RMI Connect in October. So please keep an eye on your inboxes. We'll be sending some emails out with information about the agenda and what RMI Connect is going to look like, and would love to see everybody here in early October for RMI Connect 2022. With that, I will sign off. Again, thank you, Randy, thanks, Wade, and thank you, everyone, for joining us today. That is it. We'll sign off. Have a good day.